Okay, so today we're gonna be explaining food with food, which sounds simple, but if it's simple, then it's simple. So let's start with food. Food is food, which obviously means that food being food means that food is made out of food, which is fooding what the food is food, which is why when you eat food, you're eating food. So now let's say you have chicken, right? Chicken is chicken, which explains why chicken tastes like chicken, because it's made out of chicken. Now what about other food? Let's take food. Food is also food. So when food becomes food, it turns into food, which is why food is considered food, which is fooding in the food. Now you go into a restaurant. The restaurant sells food, which is food. So when you order food, you receive food, which you eat as food. That's why a restaurant is a restaurant. So here's where it gets complicated. Let's say the food is hot. It's still food, but now it's hot food, which means it's food, but hot. Now if it gets cold, now it's cold food, which is food, just food, but cold. So temperature doesn't change the food, the fact that food is food, which is food. It just changes the food that is the foundation of the food, which is food. So now let's go even deeper. Let's say you have food, then you add food to it. Now you have more food, which means that the food becomes more food than it was food before, but it's still food. So if you remove food from the food, now you have less food, but it's still food. Just less food, but it's still food. So no matter what you do to food, it stays food. Now let's talk about eating. When you eat food, you turn food into eaten food, which is no longer uneaten food, but it's still food before it was eaten, and it's still technically food after it was eaten, maybe in your body, but it was still food. Now let's say someone else eats your food. Now your food is their food, which means your food is no longer your food. It's their food, even though it was your food. Who would have known? So food ownership is just moving between two food users. Now let's go even deeper. Let's say you have a plate, and on that plate is food. So now the plate is holding food, but the plate is not food, unless it is food. Because if a plate is made out of food, then the plate is also food, which means whatever it's holding is also food holding food, which doubles the food if that's how it works. Now, let's say the food falls off the plate. Now the food is floor food, which is still food. But now it's floor food. It's still food. And now if you pick it up, it becomes picked up floor food, which is still food. So food changes states, but never stops being food. So food is still food. Now here's an important part. If food is food, and food explains food, then food is the explanation of food, which means we have successfully fooded the food, explaining with food, which foods the food. And if you didn't understand that, remember, food is food, and food foods the food.